baby hot. Don't speak to any moment. Product of her environment. Shout out to global woman. Can't box her in with any trend. Oh, she's a global woman. Call Fire Marshal Bill. Like, let me tell you something. Flawless, beautiful. Follow codes down to her toes. Cutie codes, picking rolls with the flow. Slam dunking all the goals. Silvers for the novice and golds for the pros.
What's going on, everybody out there in TV land, on YouTube and on Facebook Live? We come to you tonight to interrupt your regular scheduled program. Hey, y'all, we got a banger tonight. The mic is hot, the phone lines are ready, and the panel look like they're going to try to get it in tonight. But before we get started, hey, Facebook, we have this discussion every single week. Go to YouTube. Everyone has YouTube, or everybody has access to YouTube. Go to YouTube, type in Nutz, N-U-T-Z, the and sign, Boltz, B-O-L-T-Z of life, and watch us live on YouTube. Hey, YouTube, don't forget to click that like button. It's the thumbs up. Then slide your finger on over and press the subscribe. And don't forget to click the all so you get all of the notifications when we're going live or dropping new content. Lastly, share. You might ask, share this video to where? Well, most of us have Facebook, so that's where you can share it to, or anywhere you desire. Yes. Right now, everybody just listen to this right now. Take a pause. I'm going to pause for the calls. Right now, cost nothing. Hit the like button right now for me. I'm going to take 3 seconds. I'll wait. All right. Hit the like button and like this video and make sure you share this video. All right. Also, we're doing something new. Every time we hit the 200 milestone mark with subscribers, we're going to the chat and find 1 or 2 people and send them a gift. But you must be a subscriber to participate. And I think right now, Kyra, what number are we up to, Kyra?
I want to say that we are at 160, 175.
175. Hey, Obi, I want you to give a shout out real quick to the person that you sent a gift to. You on mute, buddy. Unmute yourself, Obi.
Oh, what's up, Shannon? Thank you for being a faithful subscriber, faithful listener, and a faithful participant. As you guys can see, that's the gift that we sent her. And who knows, you could be the next person to receive a gift from us.
Thank you. That was a random gift that Obi said, let's just send somebody something. So we sent Shannon a random Nutz and Boltz tumbler. And she said she absolutely loved it. Also, y'all, check out this small video about my Stop Playing Apparel company. Right now. It's going to pop up any second now. There you go. It's coming. Stop Playing was created to motivate, inspire, uplift, and inform individuals about viewing life through an alternate lens. No 2 individuals travel the same road or embark on the same journey. Yet obstacles are faced by all. Despite the challenge, if you believe it, you can achieve it. By purchasing a shirt, you can be part of motivating and inspiring someone to achieve greatness. Come join the movement at stopplaying.net. Thank you, producer. You're so great. Thank you. Appreciate you putting that up there. So come and shop with me, y'all. Also, last but not least, if you like what we're doing and you'd like to donate to us, there's a QR code right on the screen. All monetary gifts are appreciated. We thank you for your gifts in advance. But I understand if you cannot scan the QR code, don't worry, we got a cash tag. It's on the bottom of the screen. Our cash tag is $Nutz, N-U-T-Z, Boltz, B-O-L-T-Z 1. Again, it's $Nutz, Boltz 1. And before we move on, Kyra, I want you to introduce the Datum Edition show we're trying to do.
All right. So we are looking to make love connections for some of our viewers. We are having something coming up that is called Datum or Ditch'em. It's going to be facilitated by our very own Angel. If you're interested in participating, let us know. The people will be vetted and will dig a little bit into their background to make sure that everyone is safe And so if you're looking for love, reach out.
Thank you, Kyra. You said that so eloquently well. Appreciate your words and your diction is so great. And with that being said, welcome to Nuts and Bolts of Life. My name is Edmund Chapman. I'm the CEO of Stop Playing Apparel, and I'm not from, like my cousin told me last week, but I reside in South Carolina.
I'm Kyra from California.
I'm Obi from North Carolina. I don't have a clothing line, and I don't speak perfect diction.
But there is
Travis.
Oh, I'm Travis, and I'm from New York, but I live in Charlotte, so I'll take it.
And then we have Jennifer.
Good evening, everyone. I am so sorry. I am Jennifer, born, raised, and still living on the south side of Chicago.
Welcome, everybody. Welcome to the show. Glad to have everyone. Hey, before we get started, you know what we always got to do first? Ed story time. So today, Ed story time is Kyra and the gang. I think it's time for me to get out the single gang. Y'all know I've been saying for a while that I'm just out here chilling, relaxing, living my life. Now it's been 2.5 years since I've been divorced. Now it's time for me to get back in the game. So, ladies out there, if you want to date Ed, you can contact Kyra or you contact Sheena Nicole and fill out an application. All applications is open. We're gonna vet you, ladies. And if you want to date me and want to be the next Mrs. Chapman, these ladies is gonna vet you, and they're gonna find me somebody for real this time. Real. Kyra, you ready for that vetting?
Don't send the applications to me. I'll do the screening after the applications have been received and all that. We got a church finger in the corner.
that's my air story time for today. I'm trying to get back in the game. The dating game is crazy, man. I tried it a couple of times. Like, whoa, I don't know. Women kind of confused, but anyway. Hey, Obi, what's tonight's show about?
Oh wait, I have a quick question. Oh, okay.
I'm still laughing at you, Ed. But sex before I do. If you're in a relationship, would you want to have sex with that person before you say I do? I mean, let's talk about it.
Kyra, what's your question?
My question was about the previous topic, so I guess.
Go ahead, say it.
I'm just saying, are you ready to be married? Is that what you mean?
Yes,
or...
I mean, yeah, I'm ready to get back in the game.
And you've done whatever work needs to be done to make you good for the game and self-evaluation and
yes.
Okay, that's great.
I done did my homework on myself. I done did my celibacy a little bit. I done did all kind of stuff. So I did my 6 months sitting back and didn't do nothing. I did all kind of stuff. Now it's been 2.5 years. Now it's time to jump back in the fire, jump back in the pan.
You found yourself?
Huh?
You found yourself.
No, men don't be lost. That's something women say, but we ain't gonna get into that. That's something women say they be lost. But no. So Kyra, can you tell us a little bit about what tonight's show gonna be about?
Yes. So tonight we are focusing on basically sex before marriage. Is it cool to still do it? Is it just something that sounds good? Is it a generational thing that is in the past? Is it something that church people just say but don't really do? Like, let's talk about sex before marriage.
A quick question for everybody. Who think you should, just by maybe a finger, you should have sex before marriage? That it's okay to have sex before marriage? Anybody think it's okay to have sex before marriage? Obi, Travis. This Obi and Travis think it's okay to have sex before marriage. Okay. So we're going to get into this thing.
I feel like biblically you're not supposed to have sex before marriage, but people do it. I have a child and I've never been married. So I have partaken, but do I know that it's not right according to my religious standards? Yes.
Okay, we're gonna get into that a little bit too. So my first question I'm gonna throw out though real quick is for the guys, I guess for Travis and Obi, is there what is the reasoning for you to have sex before marriage? What was your reasoning?
I think your reason would be you're uneducated, right? And so as men of God, right, we look and say, now we know the word, we're learning the word. We're better at who we are now than we were when we were having sex, right? Because in the with what's going on in the world, we was having sex even at our age, 13, 12, 14 years old, based on, and I can personally say this, masculinity that was shown to us. Like, it wasn't about go to school, get your grades, go to college. It was about, I have money, and I have women. So based on what you've learned growing up, it's just gonna be that way. Like, it's you do it just because.
So that's your reason why you had sex before marriage?
No, I'm saying that people have sex before marriage because
No. We're not talking about people. We talking about Travis. Why did
Oh,
Travis have
Travis?
sex? Because you and Obi raised your hand up. So why did you have sex
I-
before marriage?
I had sex before marriage because that was supposed to be something cool to do when you were young, as a male. To get a woman to say, you know what, I'll give it up to you. At that time, it was cool. So, get Obi.
Got you. Obi, why did you have sex before marriage?
For me, it's just important to know what you're getting into before you go to the next step. Um, and I'm not here to degrade anybody or talk down on anybody, any of that. But it's like the old saying, before you buy the car, you want to test drive it. Honestly, even if you just test drive it once, you want to see how that car drives, how it handles the curves, how it goes on long trips. You need to know when you need to fill the car up with gas, when the tank is getting low. You want to be excited about getting in that car. And even though you can drive that car for 20 minutes and you might not like the way you drive that car the first time, you can drive it the second time and you like it. You still want to try it. And for me, I just don't want to be in a bad car. So it's and let me say this real quick: men and women think fundamentally differently about everything, and I think they do feel fundamentally different about sex and relationships. Even though people that we go to church with, you can say you hold yourself to a higher standard, but we know both women and men who say, "Hey, I'm not going to take that next step with you unless I know that you working with something." You know what I'm saying? I'm not talking about size. I'm just saying working with something in the bedroom. What was your question, Ed?
I'm gonna say not going against my dogs, but why everybody always say you got to test drive it? As women cars, why are we
Well, look,
associating with women and men to vehicles?
I didn't want to be vulgar. I mean,
Analogy.
I could be vulgar, but I didn't want to be vulgar.
Yes.
No, I'm saying everybody I ask this question to, a lot of people say, well, you got to test drive it first. No, you don't really have to test drive anything. Like they're human beings. They're not vehicles. You don't have to test drive it. You don't have to get it appraised.
So
you don't have to get somebody to walk through the house and check it out. They are human beings. You are a human being, Obi. Nobody has to test drive you.
I mean, I can say what. Yeah,
huh?
I can say what it really is, but I don't want to do that because this is a PG rated show. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. That's trauma. That's
Wait,
all.
what's trauma?
When he says I have to protect myself from whatever, that's
Bad
trauma.
Sex?
Yes.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
I'm confused now. I'm confused.
All right, Ed, I'll give you another example. You wouldn't buy a house unless you walked around the house and checked it out to make sure that you like that
But a
house.
woman, not a house. She's a woman.
But it's
That,
I hear what both of you all are saying. I hear
Mhm.
what everyone is saying.
You know what I mean?
But kind of like the analogy, try before you buy. You're not
Mhm.
necessarily buying it, but you are figuring out what you're getting yourself into. And if it's something that is pleasing or something that is displeasing, because it could be a determining factor of if the relationship will go to the next steps or not. And I think that, like, bringing it back to like a biblical perspective, because God only wanted us to be one man with one woman, that's where things got totally off kiltered. Because if it was one man and one woman and you hadn't experienced anyone else, then there wouldn't need to be the try before you buy, because you hadn't had Henry, Peter, James, and John, and your only experience was with Adam, and there's nothing to compare Adam to. But that is not where we are. I mean, that's God's will, but unfortunately, that's not where a lot of people are, and that's how things can get complicated. And sex is addicting. So when you have it and it's good, then oftentimes people want to continue to do that act.
Preach, preacher.
Hey, Kyra, where in the Bible does it say you cannot have sex before marriage? I just
I
want to
feel
know.
like
I want to look it
adultery
up.
is one of the sins in the Bible. I don't know. I can't like quote um, book chapter and verse, but I know that adultery is in the Bible and fornication is in the Bible. And even like lusting, there's different sins that are identified in the Bible. And people that have biblical history or theologians or whatever they're called, feel free to put it in the chat or call in. I'm not like a subject matter expert on the Bible. I have one and I have the app.
I just be wanting to find out when people spewing stuff out. I want to know, like, where is it? I can look it up. Like, where did it say, like, you should not have sex before marriage? Just wondering. Just wondering. Just throwing it out, asking the question. Jen, do you know
Hebrews 13:4.
where it?
Hebrews 13:4.
Can you read it out? You got it?
Hold on for 1 second. Yeah, keep going. I'll read it out. Give me 1 second.
No, it's just interesting. The things people, I think people want to have the right idea, but sometimes they they don't have the right idea. They not. It's not factual sometimes. Not saying that Kyra says not factual. I'm just saying, so our viewers at home, for myself, people can actually look it up if they're going off the biblical principles of the whole subject matter. But while you
Jennifer
looking
had
at,
I
her
got
hand
it.
up a
I
minute
got it.
ago.
Yeah. It says, and it talks about marriage first, but it says, let marriage be held in honor among all, and let the marriage bed be undefiled, for God will judge the sexually immoral and adulterous. And this leads some to believe that sex before marriage is a sin.
mm,
And let
is it?
me hit the chat real quick.
Hold on before you hit the
Jennifer,
chat
were
real
you going
quick.
to say something?
Hold on, Kyra. Hey, so Facebook, we about to get out of here, and we about to Kyra about the chat. So if you want to watch the show again, y'all know we do this all the time. Go to Nutz and Boltz of Life on YouTube. It's real easy. Nutz Nutz, the and sign Boltz Boltz of Life on YouTube. I'm signing off. See y'all in a minute. Go ahead, Kyra.
Okay, so we have a couple. I'm going to swoop back to the test driving and then get us up to speed on the biblical perspectives that we're bringing into the conversation. There are men and women who believe you should drive the car before you buy it. Another person said, if the theory is test drive before marriage, then you guys are okay with only having sex once are you okay with having sex once before you're married? Another person says, I want the milk if it's I want the milk If it's free, I've discovered free milk is spoiled. Another person says sex is so secondary to me. Do you like me for me? Yeah, do you like me for me, not just because I'm mandingo? I cannot. Sex is a dangerous game. There's a reason it said marry before you carry. And then I'll read just two more. What happens when you marry someone before sex and find out it's not what you wanted it to be?
Good question.
And then I'll read two more because they're good. Okay. I create the vibe. I'll teach and mold her into exactly what I want. But do you genuinely like me for me initially? And then lastly, in these days, you got to see what you'll be working with before you commit to them. You got to see if they are who they're supposed to be.
That's good. I like
I don't
that.
know that a
Test
sexual
driver.
component identifies if someone is who they say they are to me.
I
Personally.
guess if they go on her line, like somebody said mandingo or whatever, if they lying about being a mandingo, I guess that's what the person might be saying. I'm guessing. I'm speculating here. So are you who you say you are? If you like I'm a beast in bed and
Sexually.
yada yada yada, all this nonsense.
Okay.
I'm guessing. That's just my
Okay.
guess. So I'm gonna hit y'all with
Gotcha.
another question. Can you honestly make that no sex before marriage claim if you have kids or you're not a virgin? Go ahead, Jen.
Yes, because I did it. Well, for everybody who does not know, I'm married. I've only been married for 3 years now, and my daughter's 6. Well, she'll be 6 next week. So I had her when I was 38 years old, and 6 months, actually a month before I found out I was pregnant, I told God that I was okay without not having children because I was 38 and I wanted to have children in the confines of marriage. And literally a month after I said, okay, God, I'm good like this, I found out I was pregnant with my daughter. So speed up, was here. I was blessed to have her. My husband and I then were kind of going back and forth. We split up. We got back together. At one point, I always used to think, like, how do people have children and then not even end up liking each other? And I found out. But we're married now. But the birth of my daughter just started me on a journey. And I am so a different person now than I was then. And when I say a different journey, just a spiritual journey. I was born and raised. I was introduced to God at an early age. I've always gone to church, and I had knowledge of God, but my heart was far from Him. And so once my daughter came, it just started a different relationship with God than I ever had in my life as a 38-year-old woman. And I just started when like I said, we split and then we got back together. And when we got back together, that was one of the things that I asked Him to do with me. If we're walking this way and if the end result is going to be marriage, will you please hold out for me? Because I felt like I needed to do that because of where I was in my journey and just be getting a more intimate relationship with God. And He agreed to do it.
That's good. That's deep. That's so deep. It's soul grabbing. No, that was good though. That made perfect sense to me when she broke it down. Like absolutely perfect sense. Um, do anybody else want to tackle the same question? Can you honestly make the no sex before marriage claim if you already have kids or you are not a virgin?
I think you definitely can, because people are in different ages and stages of life, and some people, um, a lot of us on here are Christians, and so we're talking about the Bible. And many of us grew up in the church and going to church, and it was just something that was automatic, and we still did what we did. And so there's so many people that don't have that spiritual relationship or connection with God and don't know the Bible or God's word or any other religion's word. And so they just do what was taught to them, um, or what other people modeled for them. So definitely, I believe that even though you have had premarital sex, have a kid, you can still you can still set that standard for yourself of not wanting to have sex with anyone except for who you're going to be married to after marriage.
Okay, ladies, come with it. Gentlemen, what you think? If y'all got any answer to this? All right,
I mean,
no answer.
I'll say I think you
Yeah, I
can,
was about to say,
because
yeah.
people call themselves like born again Christians or born again virgins all the time. So you can always turn that around. I mean, like you just have to be firm in what you're doing, especially if you're in a relationship with somebody. Like the example that Jen gave, I think if I met a Christian and she said, "Hey, we let's do this," and I was into her like that, maybe I would. But I would hope that I got a chance to get some first before I made that decision. Just being honest. Hey, this is an honest show. Honest show.
It is. I wasn't ready
So
for that. I wasn't
if the woman
ready.
wasn't ready to have, if the person that you're dating didn't want to have sex before marriage and they let you know that 3 weeks, 2 weeks in to y'all talking, getting to know each other, courting, whatever you want to call it, would that be a deal breaker?
It wouldn't be a deal breaker because there's other things you can do, you know what I'm saying, to have fun. You don't have to have penetration to have sex. But I need to see, if I'm going to go to the 50-yard line to meet you, I'm hoping that you're going to come to the 50-yard line to meet me. I mean, relationships about give and take. It ain't got to be half and half, but, you know,
Hey, Obi, that's so funny you said that because my ex-wife told me that she don't want to have sex before marriage, and I'm like, oh, okay, sure, you know, like, oh, okay, let's see how far that goes,
yeah,
and I seduced her, and yeah, that didn't last long. Then I moved down here, like, how that's not gonna happen
yeah,
because I got married after I moved here, and we was living together, so I'm like, oh, okay,
yeah.
sure.
And
So I
Travis
got
had his hand up.
No, I don't even want to say nothing.
go
Go
ahead,
ahead.
Trav. I
No,
want to hear
go
from
You
ahead,
you.
already
Trav.
put your hand up,
Yeah,
Travis. You
go
got to
ahead,
So,
say
Trav.
it.
so yes, I understand like what y'all saying, but that goes back to the trauma I was talking about, right? Oh, at the end of the day, if I can try it first, like what we doing? If I say that I follow God and this is what He says, then do you respect it or not as the man? This is from a men's point of view.
Mhm,
So for us, we should because we're supposed to be leading the house in that way.
mhm.
So that's all I was thinking about when y'all say what y'all say. I was like, ah,
Charles, are you married?
yes, I am.
Did you have sex before you got married?
Yes, I did.
Oh, so what happened to your principles then?
It wasn't about principles either
You
way.
just said
It
if
was
you're the
about
man
growth,
and God said,
growth. Maybe he wasn't, and that's goes back to the same conversation I was having earlier. Maybe he
Mhm.
wasn't as close to God as you are now.
Mm,
Right.
So if we're talking about present, yeah, if you're this close to God, you got to wait.
Hmm.
If you're not, then guess what? I got a test drive.
Jen, you have your hand up, Jen?
For you, Trav.
Jen, did you
I
have your
want
hand
to
up?
chime in after Jennifer.
Yeah, I just think going back to the foundation of it all, and I totally agree with what Travis was saying. But going back to the foundation of it all, if I had it to do again, knowing what I know now, I wouldn't have even started. But see, I think about now that I have a daughter, how am I going to present sex to her other than don't do it, just like it was presented to me, or it's a sin against God. It's like I just think that we just end up doing stuff because we're uneducated, or we think, oh, we're young, so we're supposed to do it and make all these mistakes, when in fact there are people who have waited until until marriage. They, virgins, men and women, until they were married, and it can be done. I just think the foundation and how it's presented and how it's taught in, I don't want to say in anybody else in my household.
We're gonna start the lower.
I'm just saying, because I remember when I turned 16, as a gag gift, one of my friends gave me a condom, and it was green. I hadn't had sex at that time, but it was green. And my sister saw it in my wallet. She told my mama, "What you doing with that?" And then she threw it out, and there was just no real talk about it, other than don't do it. Mm-hmm. And so this is something that now that I'm older and I'm wiser and I'm looking at life totally different, I am really praying to God on how I'm going to raise my daughter, because I would like for her to do that, to be a virgin before she gets married, not because I didn't do it, but if I had it to do again, and knowing what I know now, I would definitely do it.
So you said it was a sin against God. I know, Kyra, you want to chime in. I want to ask Jennifer a question. You said it's a sin against God. So you think you're gonna go to hell if you have sex before marriage? Just a question, just asking.
No, but knowing. Am I still? Oh yeah. Knowing again, knowing what I know now, but that's how it was put to me. You see what I'm saying? That's what I thought. And I mean, now we're about to get into, I'll just say this and leave it there. But once you accept Jesus Christ as your personal savior, ain't no take backs. Once you say I do, he's not going to take it back. Now, all of the choices and stuff that you make, that's on you and building your relationship with him. But once you say, hey, this is me, and I, you're my savior, he's not taking it back. But I didn't know that then.
Just like she was saying, like she was taught, don't give it up, right? Don't do it. We was taught, go get it.
Who taught you to go get it?
Okay.
I'm just wondering, like, I wasn't taught that.
Society.
Our uncles.
Society, yes.
Our uncles. Our boys.
Yes, our boys. If you was a virgin at a certain age, it was problems.
Some people's parents teach them to go get it.
That's why I asked, Kyra, who taught you this?
Some do. Nobody taught you that, Ed?
No. First of all, I'm listening to my friends. My friends can't teach me nothing. They ain't gonna teach me to go. I'm not very influenced by anyone. I don't know if y'all noticed about what I say on the show. I don't influence easily. I walk to my, hold on, Obi. So you asked me a question. I march to my own beat. So I'm not very influenced at all by what anybody says. So no friend can tell me you need to go start having sex or you need to smoke weed. I've never smoked weed. I know people that smoke weed. I've never did it. So nobody can influence me or teach me to do anything. My father did never. Me and my father, I don't even hit the birds and bees conversation at all.
You're one of millions, though.
My uncles didn't tell me go get it. One of my uncles was a pastor, so I'm just wondering, like, who taught you this stuff? I'm not saying there's nothing wrong with it.
So I'm from the city. I'm from the city, right? So for me, everything's fast paced. For you, it might have been slowed down. My uncle was a pastor. My aunt was the deacon. Like for me, church wasn't like, oh, okay, this is what you need to do when you're 6, 3, 4, whatever, however old you are. It wasn't taught that way. It was like, hey, getting money and getting females is a priority. If you're not doing that, then who are you? And I'm not saying that it's right or wrong. I'm just saying those circumstances.
Obi, what you about to say?
So, Ed, going back to when, 10, 11, 12 years old, 13, 14, 15, you mean to tell me the guys that you hung out with, they weren't chasing girls?
We always chasing girls, but when nobody influence, like you got to go get her, you got to go
That's
have
a
sex with her.
non-verbal influence. An influence is an influence. It's a
They want to
non-verbal
influence me. I
influence.
want to go chase the girls on my own. I need nobody to help me. I need nobody to
So
coach
you
me.
were chasing
We all
girls.
learned that we didn't need friends, but we were chasing them anyway, together.
I didn't.
That's different, Travis, from what
Guess
he's
what?
saying.
Oh, okay. I'm about to say,
I
That's
didn't
very
need you to have a
different from what
competitive
he's
edge.
saying.
Okay, all right. Hey,
who had
let
to
me
have
just.
the baddest one, Ed?
Huh?
Who had to
What you
have the
say?
baddest girl at the time?
Me. What? Of course. But I'm just saying, I'll just ask you guys a question because I just wasn't on that same level as you guys. And I get what you said, Travis. You get money and get girls. I'm sorry. I don't want to get canceled. My bad. Get money and get girls. But I just wasn't taught that. You know, I was more into sports. I was running track and playing football and going to church. I went to church since I was knee high to a pup. You know, and like I said, me and my father never hit the birds and the bees conversation like ever. So,
but it all depended on the men that was in your life at the time and what they were doing.
I had really good men in my life, like really good alpha men. Like Jen's my cousin, so she knows the men's and the men's, I mean a word, the men that are in my family, you know, and nobody was teaching you. If you went to go now, I'm older, we can talk about like, yeah, I got this little, you know what I'm saying? I can talk, no, but when nobody like telling me to go get it. If I came to church of a girl, they were like, oh, okay, I see you, Ed. But nobody told me to go get anything. That's what I'm trying to say. And I like what you said, Travis. We was chasing girls together, you know, go and smack the girl on her butt and all that. We did that together. Nobody influenced me to do that. If I didn't want to do it, I didn't do it. Like I said, I'm not very influenced. Just like soul ties, right, Obi? I don't believe in soul ties because like nobody's so tied to me. Like, because I think my faith is so strong that no one can actually me personally can actually soul tie me. I just don't believe it. Like I don't get influenced. Nothing can like tie me down. Like I'm like, no, I can sleep with you one day and not talk to you or think about you the next day ever again in life.
But you can't say at the end of the day, I'm not influenced, but I had to have the baddest.
That's not influenced by nobody. I want a pretty girl. Like how's that influence?
What is that based on?
I want somebody to look nice.
What is it based on that she's the baddest? Public opinion.
She's the baddest to me. She might not be the baddest to you, Travis, but she was the baddest to me. That makes more sense. I'm sorry.
Understood. No.
Kyrie, you want to chime in? I know we're going back and forth.
No, we can go to the next question. That's good.
So the next question, I want to really dive into this question too. Does premarital sex affect the relationship quality or stability? And for me, I just want to say this. I want to kick off the answer. So I didn't raise my hand at the beginning when I said should you have sex before marriage? Because I think you should not have sex before marriage. And this is why I say that. Do I have relationships with women? Absolutely. But when I find the one that I really want to marry, I would rather not have sex to her. If that makes any sense to you. Like I can find somebody, she a baddie, but I'm not no chemistry. I don't really want to date her at all. She just like my cousin say, this is good for the team. Just good for one thing. But if I find somebody
sex with her.
Huh?
But you're still having sex with women.
Yeah. Not currently, right. Well,
not today, right this very second, not this minute.
But what I'm saying, Kyra, say right, I'm out here, right? And I find somebody that I'm really, really interested in. I really like, I can see a future with her. I would want to, like, I think kind of like Jen said alluded to earlier, I would want to do it different this time than when I did it with my ex. I would rather not have that. I don't need to test drive her. I don't need to do all this other stuff. I want her to be emotionally attracted to my mind and mine to hers. I want her to love my funniness, my quirkiness, my bald head, my big beard, and everything else I want to love about her. And I want to wait and savor that moment until we become married, because I tried it the other way and it didn't work. So what's the insanity? Doing the same thing over and expecting this result. So I want to do things differently only when I find someone that I make that perfectly clear that I think I want a future with her.
How do you know?
Not saying that if I met some trying to say it's the correct way, a nice lady in this outside at the mall or somewhere, And I was like, oh, she look good. And then we talked. I'm like, I'm not really into it, but she still. Let's okay. They call a spade a spade. I had a woman down here for about almost a year, and we both was on the same page, on the same sexual page, and we didn't want no relationship. We was on the same page, and we messed around for about a year. Then I was like, you know what? I want more. I want a wife, and God not gonna bless me with a wife. I'm just still sleeping with this girl, and I don't want no part of relationship with her at all. And Travis, she had a, but she Travis, bruh, Lord have mercy. I just wasn't. I didn't want to. I didn't see a future with her. I didn't see a relationship with her at all. But like I said, if I'm for real about, I'm joking earlier about Ed's story time, but for real, I want to vet the woman if I really like her, and I want to just wait and not have sex with her until we get married. Try it a different way and see what happens. But until then, Jen, go ahead.
Now I want to circle back to what Kyra said.
Mhm.
Even though you saying, okay, you're holding that you have this girl and you say, okay, I see a future with her and I don't want to have, sex with her into marriage because I want to do it differently this time. But you still, once you get there, just because you chose to do that with her, that still leaves comparisons once you get there. Cause you done spend all this time with the lady that had the good stuff, but you ain't want no future with her. And then you finally married and you all excited, and then something happened and you like, wait a minute, and then you thinking back to the lady with the good stuff. It just, when you're doing that, it just allows for a conglomerate of things. That's why, that's why it's just safe, I would say, to just, and of course we've all heard and been there, done that, but I'm just speaking to your train of thought right now. It just kind of leaves the door open. Not saying that you're going to go back, but now you comparing. It leaves the door open for comparison. And
But
that's,
just like a lot of people just said, I think in the chat, like they want to make sure the sex is good, the size is good, and this and that and the third. I want to have everything else. So if the sex is not good, it's still cool. Well, for me, I think Travis might have said, or Joshua said in the chat, for men, there's no, to me, well, let me just say me, I'm going to speak, there's no such thing as bad sex. To me, it's lazy sex, but no such thing as bad sex. So if I got everything else with this woman, we're compatible, we got chemistry, we can have fun, everything else, and then she might just be, I guess you could say, lazy a little bit. I'm okay. I can get past that. We can talk about it because we have that dynamic. We have that be able to have conversation. I was a bad conversationalist. I was bad, like having a conversation at all. I don't want no parts, no conversation. But I can sit down with her. She can sit down with me. She can tell me what she like. I can tell her what I like. But so therefore, I'm not thinking about the baddie or anybody else because I am so into this one woman. When I have a woman, I'm into that woman. I never want to look at nothing else. When I have somebody, I'm into her. I'm not comparing her to no one else. I'm not thinking about no one. I'm thinking about her. Now, if I'm messing with her and then maybe her over there and then over there, I might compare the like, man, which one of these? But if I'm just really with someone, then I really focus on that one. I fall in love quick. I love quick. I ain't gonna lie, and I love hard. So when I love quick, I love hard. I'm focused on that one woman. So I don't compare this woman to someone else because that person had a better body or the sex was better or she did tricks or whatever. For me, I'm not gonna compare the two. So I don't think I'm gonna leave a door open because right now our minds are I'm attracted to her mind. I'm attracted to her what she possesses, not like the physical things, but like her intellect. No, the man, she can crack a joke on me just as good as I can crack a joke on her. That's attracted to me. We both can just go out and be loud. That's attracted to me. We both can go have fun. So I just think for me, I don't want to add the sex into it because now when you add sex into the component, then you miss little cues because the sex is good. You know what I'm saying? Like that happened to me with both of my childs. You missed stuff because now you like, I really don't want me. I'm saying you. I really don't want to say nothing because I don't want her to hold out on me. So now I'm letting little stuff slide and stuff here and there and everywhere because I don't want her to be like, no, I ain't giving you none or be mad at me. But if I don't go there anyway, it don't matter. So I don't miss those little cues, if that makes any sense at all. It makes sense in my head. So anybody else want to tap? Anybody got more questions for me? So again,
I have a question for the two married people, if I may.
Hold on, before you dive in that, let's ask anybody can finish this question. I'll then go right to yours, Kyra. So, does premarital sex affect relationship quality and stability? Did anybody get?
I say no, but I say no with no explanation. Just no, in my opinion.
Nope. I think it's the work that you put in, both of you, regardless to anything.
Okay, Kyra, go ahead.
Perhaps it could a little bit, because to me, sex is something that's emotional. Because I'm giving part of myself to you. And I think it's just like next level. So I think that it could have an influence or impact on a relationship.
I believe that for us as younger people, right, unknowing who we are now, because now we know that that's an influencer, but at that time, we don't. So we make those choices and get married and don't put the work in. And I think now that we're older and we understand, we have to put the work in and do things different. We're willing to make that sacrifice. That's all.
Hey, y'all, don't forget the call line is open. It's 704-891-9560. Kyra about to ask another question in a second to the two married folks on the chat. On the panel. But the call line is open. It's 704-891-9560. And also, we got a bunch of people in the chat. So please click the like button right now. It doesn't cost you nothing. Just click the like button for us, and we appreciate you for doing that. Go ahead, Kyra.
And can you plug the Cash App also, because someone in the chat is asking for that? Thank you in advance. My question to the married people is, do you think that I understand that both of y'all had sex with your husbands or wives before you were married, but if you had waited, do you think that, and it wasn't good, I do believe that there is bad sex, do you think that would have been like a game changer in the relationship, or like that you would compare to other people if it wasn't good? Or is that so like minimal of a component of your marriage that there's just so many things that are larger and more focused on? Because I feel like in a lot of the people that I've talked to that are married, they don't even have sex that often. So for some people, it's like not really that relevant, because they might do it 2 or 3 times a month.
Well, I guess it depends on what stage you are in life. I mean, first of all, and then we going into sex drives and all that other kind of stuff. But like, my husband and I have a 5-year-old who's about to be 6. I work in the day, he work at night. Like, not trying to get too much out there, but it's like
and definitely not asking anybody to disclose their
no, I know, but I'm just saying. I mean, most of the time we're coming and going, and we only have one child, and she follows me around the house. So it's like when we do it like this. So when we get a moment, it's like whoop whoop. I'm just saying, but that's where we are right now. It's not always going to be like that. As she gets older, things will loosen up. But right now it's like whoop whoop, and and that's it. But going back to your initial question, though, when I decided to actually marry my husband, God had just really dealt with me with what love is, the definition of love, and just not to my husband, but just to people, period. So when it really sunk, kind of sank in my heart that, love is a decision. It's a choice that I choose to make on a daily basis, whether I'm choosing to love my husband, whether I'm, choosing to show love, to my family, but it's a choice. And so when I just let that rest in my heart, the ups and downs and the ins and outs, when I wake up in the morning, I choose to love, and sex doesn't have nothing to do with my choice. If that answers your question, Kyra.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Travis.
Can you please repeat the question? I'm sorry.
Yeah. With you having sex before marriage, is sex, like, if the sex wasn't good in your marriage, is that like a big enough component? Like, is it weighted? Is it weighted like highly, or there's weighting? I'm not verbalizing this well, y'all. But like, is sex so important in your marriage that if the sex was bad, it would have been like a game changer in the marriage?
I think sex depends on how you feel about the person, right? Because you can have, as for females, you can have a guy that treats you great and gives you everything you need and want for as a man, but he can have something that doesn't please you in bed. But you still love him and care about him, right? And I think for men, same thing. I know that Ed said Obi said there's no bad sex, but I don't agree. I think that there is, depending on the type of person that you're dealing with, or what they've been through and what you've been through, or your size, or what's going on. Like it goes that way. So, with that being said, having a bad relationship, bad sex is just, it is what it is. We know that we don't want to judge people on, okay, this is what makes you who you are. We want to be like, okay, no, I care for them and I love them, like Ed was saying earlier, because they know who I am, my mental, my physical, my emotional state. But over time, life changes. People don't follow God as much as they should in their younger years because they're not aware, and they do these things. And maybe they are aware and they just go against it. Oh, because I saw your head switch, right? So we can be educated or not, but it's like, it's choice and what you know. We all are godly people now, but we weren't 20 years ago, 15 years ago. We had to go through some things to get to where we are. So,
and I think even as godly people, there are a lot of Christian men out there that have expectations and desires and wants, and it's like, it's confusing. And I'm not saying that women don't do the same thing, but it's like, oh, I want this Christian woman, but I want to have sex. And so sometimes it's challenging, but I think it talks, I don't want to say the maturity, I guess maybe the spiritual maturity of the man, and being able to lead, because I just kind of feel like if you have that Christian man that's leading you into having sex, then how is he going to lead you in marriage? But at the same time, I do understand that it is challenging and that sex is very tempting, and feels good when you are strongly connected with someone. So,
Call a spade. Christian men and Christian women, they all want sex. They all like it.
Yeah, because we've experienced it and it feels good.
They all like it. So that I don't think they have nothing personally, have nothing to do with a relationship, because they both want it. They both gonna get it.
Learn behavior.
But I want to ask a question. I see it in the chat, and I seen Jen shaking her head, and I saw Travis just say it. What is bad sex? People say besides a man's size, what is bad sex? I guess men. What is bad sex?
Hey,
Because I
before they
say it's
answer,
lazy, but there's no such thing as bad, and all y'all look like no, it's bad. What is bad sex?
hey, and before you guys answer, Travis, I didn't say anything about bad sex. That wasn't me.
Oh, okay, that was
That was me said that.
Okay,
Gotcha.
okay. All
Sex
right.
is just for the men.
You asking the fellas or the women?
I'm asking everybody. I say for women, they probably say like a size or whatever. But and I said so. But what is besides a size or whatever? What is bad sex? Like I know what lazy sex is, but what is bad sex?
Lazy sex.
I see it
is
in
bad
chat
sex.
too. Like people say, yeah, it's something. What's bad? What is it?
Lazy sex is bad sex for one.
I think lazy sex is just lazy sex.
No,
It's
it's
bad.
bad. It's bad.
How? Explain.
Imagine
They're
us.
putting their all.
Imagine us
Like-
being lazy.
Just
that
laying
But
there,
that's
not
living.
doing nothing, not moving, no emotion, no chemistry, no moaning, groaning, talking, no effort. Nah,
Yeah.
bro. How do women say? You can miss me with that.
Right.
Miss me.
Yeah,
So-
one-sided, lopsided is bad.
See?
And
I'm a
just
Christian.
think about it from this point of view, though. If I dominate and I'm good, right? Because I'm great at everything that I do, then what is bad sex? I don't understand. Because you have to look at it from both ways, though, Ed. Because for us, what if you go somewhere that you're not used to being? Right? You can go in smaller pools. What if you jump into a larger pool? Then what? And to
I wanna
her,
go-
your sex is bad.
I want to go so deep, but I don't want to get too raunchy. I don't want to get raunchy on here. I could say some stuff like, yeah, but I don't want to get raunchy. Go ahead, Jen. I don't want to get raunchy on
But
it.
what I would say is, anticipating what someone wants and giving it to them, and it's not what they want, bad sex.
Mm.
You think you rocking, and you not.
Preacher.
Bad. Because you ain't asked me what I want. You ain't even tried to figure it out. And you just didn't it. And you think you just, and no.
I get that for women. I can get that for women. But for guys, I'm like, as long as she not dry, what is bad is just lazy.
Bad can be for me, right? It could be bad if I don't do what my expectation is. My expectation for whatever it's supposed to be sexually in that moment, right? I feel like I'm going to go in here and make sure that she's happy. She's like, this was the worst sex I've ever had in my life.
Okay.
I feel some kind of way about that. That's what I would say.
Right. I mean, I get that. Jen kind of alluded to that. I get that on that side. I'm talking about on our side, like for the female. So you said the female sex is bad. That's what I'm trying to figure out. How the female sex bad. But I get what you're saying. Because Jen said the same thing pretty much you just said, Travis. This is wondering. I know we ain't talking about sex, like we talking about sex before marriage, but I just kind of wonder.
Just ask you something.
Go ahead.
What's something that you don't like?
And
Without being too graphic. Yeah, I'm just saying, what is there anything that just does not flip your switch?
Yes, if she tied a mess of the Duke shoot.
Okay. So let's say if she used to doing that.
We gotta break up.
but that's bad.
What if you're married though?
That would be a bad experience for you.
That's a great question, Byron. What if you are married and she tells you that she wants you to do, she likes to do that?
Like during that experience, that first experience after marriage, because you waited.
Well, let's get back serious for a second. Remember, I said I wasn't a very good conversationalist. So that's conversation we're gonna be having. So if you didn't say like, why would you? That means you lie. If we talked about all kind of stuff and you never said you like to mess with the Duke shoot, then you should have said that in the conversation that when we ever had the sexual conversation, because everybody had it they made. You have that one time you talk about stuff like what you like to do, and that should have came up then. So if you never said that, then one day you just like, whoa, hey, wait a minute now. You would not do me like that. I would not have my legs in. What are you doing? No, ma'am. No, ma'am. No, ma'am. Like, I'm just saying, like, that should have been in that initial conversation. Now I'd be like, cool, you do that? Okay. And I'd have been out the door. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Travis.
I respect your answer because do not surprise me. But what I would also say to that is this: you don't know what you might make that person want to do in your sexual relationship. It might be, hey, I'm trying to change this, or I want to show them that I'm all here for you. And I ain't saying that the shoot might be the way, but you don't know what you made them feel. You know what I'm saying? So they might just want to do it. I don't know.
Okay, I'm about to move on because it's getting too raunchy. Let's throw up. Oh my God.
You said it.
Is there is there a stigma associated with sex before marriage? Is there still a stigma associated with sex before marriage? Come on, Kyrie, jump on in here.
I don't think that there's a stigma to sex before marriage. I think it's so common. It's interesting that you said that. I have a 24-year-old son, and I just found out that one of his cousins are pregnant. They're a couple years older. And then another cousin just had a kid earlier. And I also had a child out of wedlock. And so I asked him, like, are you planning on having a kid anytime soon? And his response was, no, I'm not going to have a baby shower before there's a bridal shower. And so I was really thankful that even though that example wasn't set for him by what I did, that he still has that foundation and he knows that you should get married before you have kids. And like, that's what he is living by. But in today's society, there's so many people that are having kids out of wedlock, that are even buying houses. Like, I'm not going to buy a house with a boyfriend. I'm sorry. We're not doing that. But people do it all the time. And so things that used to be completely crazy have now been normalized. And it's just so frequent that people do have kids out of wedlock, that waiting until you're married is kind of like not normal. Yeah.
Anybody want to tap into this question? Is there still a stigma associated with sex before marriage?
I think it depends on the circle that you're in. I have a lot of groups of friends. Some that go to church, some that don't, and some of them believe that you shouldn't do anything wrong. Like, you should not commit one sin. But I know that there's not a perfect person on earth besides who God was. But then I have a group of friends who that's all they do. That's all they want to do. So I think it kind of depends on the circles that you're in. Because I roll with Ed, I know, but I know people do things differently than Ed do. So I respect everybody. Got nothing but love for everybody. Because at the end of the day, you're your own person, and you have to answer for your life's decisions when it's time for you to get up there. So you do you.
Mm-hmm.
I like that, Obi. I agree 100%.
Mm-hmm. And I'm not perfect. I try to be, but I'm not.
Nobody is. We know that. Oof.
Hey, Carol, you want to jump into the chat?
Let's see. The subject is too broad because not having sex before marriage or having sex will not solidify or guarantee a lasting relationship. Definitely not. Yes, because it clouds your judgment. Without sex, there's no distractions and you can focus on what's important. Sex is a result of a compatible relationship. Sex can't come before compatibility. But I challenge that because I feel like a lot of people have that physical attraction and that lust and desire to be one with that person, and then they overlook different things. Like Ed, you gave an example of skipping some different red flags because you were possibly whipped. And
Wait a minute, we ain't gonna just go past that. Go ahead. Wait a minute, we just slid that in. I'm just shaking my head like a bobblehead, and we slid that right on in.
next comment. We're putting too much emphasis on the sex part. Marriage takes work, not just sex, whether before or after. And then lastly, I believe in sex before marriage because if we get to the point of marriage, I'm not going to be able to keep my hands off you. We need to connect.
But if you love somebody deeply, can't you still not keep your hands off that person if you really love everything about them? You know, you so emotionally into them and like everything.
Another show. Ed, what is love? It's another show.
We did What Is Love before. Go ahead, Jen.
Part 2 then.
But the thing is, with the ups and downs of everyday life, it's some days you can attest. You don't even like some people sometimes. I'm just saying. I mean, in that moment, sometimes you don't want to be bound. Go there, and I'll be over here. I love you though, but you in this moment, you go over there, and I'm gonna be over here. So I'm just saying, I think a lot of people just get, just caught up in the butterflies in my stomach, and when all of that goes away, because
absolutely.
There has to be something. The sex is not gonna hold it. The intimate conversations that you once had not gonna hold it. So you gotta. It's the choice.
Yeah, I look at it like this, Ed. I say, can you love my Joker?
Your Joker?
Yes, if you can love my Joker, like the worst part, the biggest, baddest part of me, can you love that? If you can, understood.
And see, that's why I say I'm okay this time around not having sex before marriage. Because what you and Jen just alluded to just now. Like that's the reason I said it, the whole little spiel, that I'm okay with that because everything else aligns. I'm good. Because Ed doesn't. I want to go back to the old conversation we just had a minute ago. I'm good though. With what y'all just said, Travis and Jennifer. I agree 100%. So I'm going to go one more question, then we probably going to get up out of here. Click the like button, y'all. Y'all still in there talking. Click the like button. Call in to the call-in number. Miss Producer, can you put the call-in number back up? Yes, call-in number is 704-891-9560. Call in. And right now, we should have like 30-some likes because it's been 30-some people in the chat. So let's like, share, and subscribe. Next question. How has the perception of sex before marriage changed in modern society? Obi?
And I don't know, but I think our generation and probably the generation after us, we've probably had more than the people that are a little bit older than us. Because I can't see my grandparents and my aunts and uncles out doing the things that we're doing, whether it's the sex or the number of times they had sex or the number of partners that they had or the sex acts that they've done and even down to the places they've had sex at. I just don't see them doing that. So I think we've probably taken a huge step back with sex in society.
Could you repeat the question, Ed?
Yes, I can.
Has the perception of sex changed?
Hold on. So again, somebody asked what the call-in number is. The call-in number is 704-891-9560. Again, if you want to call in, the number is 704-891-9560. So don't text me, call in. Thank you. Somebody's calling right now. Hello, caller. You are on the line with Nuts and Boltz. First and foremost, wait. You know the first question is: are you Team Obi or Team Kyra?
I'm always gonna be Team Kyra, man.
All right, Team Kyra. What's your statement, sir?
I guess I got 3 points rather. 1 point in a question. I just kind of want to address the biblical reference. Somebody had asked for context, and as far as biblical reference goes, Paul addresses the church of Corinth. If you want to read 1 Corinthians chapter 7, verse 1, and it literally answers the question, and he starts it off with to answer your question. But if you want to know what the question was, go back into 1 Corinthians chapter 6, read through that. It starts at verse 18 when they begin to talk about sexual immorality, and then he defines it in chapter 7. All right, moving on. So from there, my 2 cents, well, I say 10 cents now because of inflation, but I do believe that, and this is, me speaking, I do believe that we should wait all the way up until marriage. And the reason being is we get, well, the scripture tells you why as well, but not just that, but we also get connected to people. The more that we exchange with them, the more we interact with them, we become connected to people, and that can impact how we interact with our spouse. And I've seen that very frequently, a lot in this dating pool, right? Because as I'm exiting my season of singleness, right, and I'm preparing for who the Lord told me to prepare myself for, I'm realizing a lot of people out here that got rings on their fingers and already under a covenant are supposed to be are out here still in this dating pool for some reason. Why is that? In addition to that, it's not just that. We want to go to some of the unmarried folk, which is, it is what it is. It's life. It happens, right? A lot of them are going back to the mother of their child or the father of their child outside of support of that child. Why is that? So I pose the question that I do believe that it does cause undue familiarness. I won't say familiarity. I can't say that word. But familiarness with a certain aspect of someone. And it's probably because of what we introduced prematurely. All right. And I would say that the last part is, and then I'm going to go ahead and hang up. While I understand, because I was talking to my homegirl about this the other day, while I understand people's want to do it before they're married because they're like, oh, well, what if it's bad? Well, I say 2 parts to that. One is, if you never had it, you don't have anything compared to. 2, if you have, then you know that you can improve or get better or teach the person what it is that you actually like.
Preach.
So that's my 10 cents on it. And I'm gonna go ahead and just ask this one question. If you do it before marriage, right? And it's not good, but the person has every other attribute that you're looking for, would you still pursue marriage? Or if you do it before marriage and it's good, but they suck at everything else, would you still pursue marriage with that person just because it's good? And that's it.
Hey, that's a good question. I got to ask you one question before you hang up. Can I ask you a personal question? If it's okay, Carl.
Go ahead.
So you are you say you live your singleness. I mean, you never have indulged with a woman before?
Nah, that's far from the truth. However, I will say that I've been on a celibacy walk since February 23, right? Gotcha. And I've learned a lot in that process because when you're in it, you can't see certain things. But once you come out of it, you begin to realize how certain things hindered you and the way that they hindered you. And that's not to say, not everything is for everybody, and I understand that. But the way that the Lord has led me is He told me, like, hey, you can't do what everybody else do. And it's for a reason. So
got you. Thank you for calling in, sir.
All right.
And maybe next time you call in, be Team Obi. Goodbye. I was playing. Have a good day. That was good. That was good. He said some good things. I like what he said. But Kyle, I'm going back to what you had asked. Unless y'all want to address that first, what he said, or You want me to ask a
I'll
question
say my
again, Kyra?
statement real quick, then circle back to the callers' questions. I
So the
think that
question, Kyra, was, so you know the question?
No, I mean, I think so, but go ahead.
Oh, the question was how how has the perception of marriage, I'm sorry, how has the perception of sex before marriage changed in modern society?
So for me, what I've witnessed with older people, somebody in the chat said that older is 55, but like I've seen uncles and other like old school family members that go to church and different stuff like that, and they are like shacking with people or and having girlfriends and boyfriends that they're traveling with and living with. And I just think it's becoming normal for like old school people that have adult grown men. I mean, not adult grown men, excuse me, adult grown children. It's something that is being done. And it just shows how disconnected we are continuing to get from like being married and being committed and making that covenant to that one person. So back to the caller's question. The first one was, if the person had everything with the exception of sex, would you marry them? And my answer would be yes. I had I had a conversation, this try before you buy conversation with my sister a couple of days ago, like in preparation for this show, and she was saying, but there's things you can do like read books and watch videos and different things like that. So I do think like with communication, which is important during sex or after sex or with someone that you are having sex with. I think communication is really important to let them know what you like, what you don't like, what works, what doesn't work, and whether that's after the session or before the session or just having that open line of communication. And then the second question is, if they only had sex and you tried before you bide, which bide is not a word, but I would not, because sex is not strong enough to endure the challenges of love and like a lasting relationship. And sex to me is emotional. And so if you're not making me feel a certain way, I don't even want to have sex with you. So if that's all that we have, then we have nothing anymore because you made me feel a type of way.
I have nothing. I've got you. Yeah. Anybody ain't that a song?
It is, but I think we should let Whitney sing that.
Anybody else want to tap into the question before we get on out of here or into what the caller said? Going once, going twice. No. Oh, so shout out to Dez for sending us a cash cash app, cash donation. Thank you, Dez, for your donation. So we're gonna get on out of here. Y'all been good tonight. So we're gonna go with the final remarks. We're gonna start with Jennifer.
Thank you guys for having me. I honestly, when Ed told me what the topic was going to be today, I was like, oh, interesting. I wonder where this is going to lead. But we had very healthy conversation, and I had any time that I can be back on, I will, if time and the fam allows. But thank you guys for having me, and it's been real.
Thank you. Travo, we're gonna go to you.
Thank you again for blessing me to be on the stage, man. I enjoy having these conversations. I believe in what you're doing as far as, just having real conversations, right, with adults. And sometimes we are teaching the youth, right? But just continue to be great in everything you do, man. I appreciate being on, and I can't wait for the next time.
Thank you. Oh, we're gonna be a gentleman's night. Obi, let Kyra go.
Thanks so much. I think we had some great dialogue. Thank you all in the chat who contributed with great questions, great calls, great comments. I thought it was a really good topic. And I'm glad that we were able to discuss it and hear different perspectives. And thank you, guests, for being on. We appreciate you. And also to the person that made the donation. Thank you so much.
OB with the new background.
I think it was a good show. I think the people in the comments and chats, I love them. We wouldn't be where we are without you guys. Thank you to the panelists tonight. Looking forward to the next show next week. And remember the dating show. We are still going to do this dating show real soon. So if you want to date, you're looking for a good man or a good woman, make sure you get in touch with Edmund Chapman or Tashina Nicole.
Thank you, OB. I think tonight's show was a really good show. It was a good topic because you want to hear what people think, about sex before marriage and see what people's mind frame is. Like I think me and the last caller, we thought one way, and now we're changing the way we think for the future. And everybody do what you want to do. I just know for me, I think I wanted to try this new way and see where it leads. I'm not saying, I think somebody in the chat said, well, if you don't have sex before marriage, that means the marriage gonna last. No, because it's still a whole lot of other stuff besides sex. Like I think Jen alluded to earlier, but still, no, why not try something different? So I'm stepping out doing something different. Y'all do what y'all want to do in the chat. It's okay. But if y'all want to be Ed's next wife, we're not going to lay down and have any type of relations. But if you don't want to be Ed's next wife, we might go check on the side about that later. I see you, G. No, but tonight's show was really good. I love the panel. Like I said, I love family. I was able to call her in the clutch because, and she came through. Thank you again, Jen. Travis, always my boy, came through. Appreciate you and the rest of the crew. If you want to be on next week's show, and the topic for next week is why stay. So I was talking to Obi one day, and we figured like a lot of people in these relationships, and they should get out. But why stay? Why are you staying in something you shouldn't be in any longer? And I think we all have probably been in some type of relationship, maybe when we was teenagers, adults, young adults, and we were like, why did we stay? So next week's topic is why stay. So you can reach out to Tashina Nicole on Facebook or myself, Edmund Chapman, on Facebook if you'd like to be on next week's show. Also, we're still looking for sponsors. If you'd like to sponsor the show, you can reach out to myself at eddieed30@gmail.com, or you can reach out to Tashina Nicole on Facebook. And last but not least, like Obi said earlier, don't forget the Datum Addiction show. We're still trying to find contestants for the show. I promise you we're going to vet them, and they're going to be good people. It's not going to be just me vetting them. Y'all know I'm kind of crazy, but we got a whole team that's going to actually vet these people. And Angel Morris is going to be hosting the show. It's going to be a really good show. So y'all want to be on a Datum Addiction. And you do not have to live in Carolina. You can live wherever you want to live in the whole world, as long as you're ready to travel for that person. So with that being said, thank you for again. Ching, where my theme music at? Like I say every single week, I love you. Go out and be great on purpose. Peace out, y'all.
I think my baby hot. Don't speak to any moment. Product of